I'm here at the London Palladium tonight. We're here to see CeeLo Green with the fantastic Marcus Anderson on sax. It's going to be great. Come on with me. Marcus Anderson, Billboard #5, smooth jazz. What an achievement. Tell us as much as you know about how you've achieved that.
I spoke with my record promoter, and one thing he said that he noticed throughout my career is that I was persistent. When I first put music to radio some odd years ago, I never had an opportunity to really chart until my most recent albums. And the more and more, I guess, the radio people start seeing me and realizing that, you know, this guy isn't going to go anywhere, I started charting, and then I think they started really appreciating my music for what it was, you know, which is genuine music from the heart, you know. And then I put music out, you know, maybe it would chart or it would chart kind of low, but now it's to the point where I can get into the teens and the single digits, which I find to be pretty amazing. You know, last week we were 10, this week we're 5. You know, I'm just excited about that.
It's proof positive that in a busy world, if you produce authentic, quality music, you can still be heard then.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yes, yeah.
This is very, very smooth, silky jazz, but it has great content woven into it, but it just comes across you and just takes you away, and you're working with a new guitar player. Tell us about him, Matt, isn't it?
Yeah, Matt Marshak. Matt and I go back a few years, and I wrote the song, I guess maybe like 1 or 2 years ago, and it was during like this whole little coffee vibe I was going through, and I heard it in my head, and I wrote it, and I put the music down, and once I finished, I said it needs guitar. And because I know Matt's sound, he kind of has like that George Benson vibe. I don't know George Benson, but I know someone that's like George Benson, that I had to kind of input him into the music.
I mean, there's more than George Benson.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
got his own unique style, but there are hints and sort of ornaments that you'd say were Benson-esque in nature.
Yeah, certainly, yeah.
Okay, so coffee. Tell me about coffee, because you're not only a musician, but you also work across this divide between music and the music business. So you've sort of put a lot of work into, you know, your coffee brand. Yeah,
I love coffee, and I just had the idea of combining music and coffee. One thing I always tried to be was more than just a musician. I tried to be a brand. I'm an artist, I'm a musician, but I'm an entrepreneur, and I have so many ideas to where I don't think that can be narrowed into just being like a musician. You know, I don't want to just be labeled as a musician. I'm a person that does this. I'm a person that plays music. I'm a person that has a coffee company, you know, just like anyone else, a person that's an artist. You know, first we're a person, and then there's extensions of us. So the music and the coffee are just extensions of me.
And so this is end product, so it's more than music. I mean, the coffee, tell me about what's special about the coffee.
The coffee is so special because we researched so much about coffee. You know, a good year before I made any moves, before I wanted to go any step further, I took coffee tasting classes. I read up online about coffee, about how long it has to sit, ferment, all of that good stuff, to really understand what it takes to make the right type of bean. And then I researched companies across the U.S., companies I could partner with. I ordered coffee samples, tasted, and pretty much chose the top blends and flavors out of all of those. Yeah.
So here, we're at the London Palladium in the Royal Box. Isn't that great? And it's a lovely venue. But you're playing here tonight with CeeLo, which is another departure from when we last met. I mean, take me through what you're doing here with CeeLo.
Well, I started playing with CeeLo December 2015. And since then, you know, it was like a match made in heaven, because musically we understand each other, and then on like a intellect level too, we understand each other when it comes to music and what's happening in the world. that, you know, we had the same conversations, we had the same understandings about a lot of different things. So it was almost like, man, you know, it was just perfect. You know, a glove that fits the hand.
And you're doing this night here, and then, of course, in a little while, you're going to do another session over in England, aren't you, as well?
Yeah. So we'll be coming back June 24th and 25th for Autism Rocks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. And since you've mentioned Autism Rocks, I mean, some of the original concerts that they did were with Prince, and here we are today, and he's gone. I mean, and I've been listening to the beautiful piece that you did within the 11-minute piece, sort of Revelation. I mean, have you anything to add that hasn't already been said from the heart about your reaction to this?
I remember that song Revelation when we recorded it in the studio, and like it was just one take. He just told me to play, and then that was it. It was like he hit record, and then he hit stop at the end. There really wasn't much in between. And
we talked before about sometimes he thinks the first thing you do is the vital thing, isn't it?
It took me a while to figure it out and understand it, but yeah, I kind of got the hint where it's like, this is my one take, this is all I get. So I'll let him hit record, and then he was happy with it. I was happy with the take, and we ended up playing it once live at Paisley Park. That was the recording that's kind of circling around. That's the only time we played Revelation live. Yeah, and I'm glad someone was able to capture that moment, because it was the only time we got to play it with the track, because it's so long, and not many people may know if you weren't there. The track started, and then he came over to us, he whispered, he said, once the song gets ready to finish, I want us to start playing. And that's what happened, and it cranked in, and it built, and then he said, you come in and you play the best solo you can. And I played, and he just let me go on and on and on. Yeah, I mean, because he understands, like, I don't do, you know, a whole bunch. I like to speak with my horn. He loves for me to just kind of play from emotion, not a whole bunch of notes on a lot of different songs. If it calls for it, then fine, but there's a lot you can say with very little notes. And he wanted me to kind of do that, and that's what kind of happened on that live version of Revelation. So,
I mean, you got my inspirations, but clearly that was one great one, which has sadly been taken from us at this time. But I mean, other inspirations, then, what are you planning to do in the short term now?
I'm going to continue to carry on his legacy, you know, the legacy of Prince. And that's not to say I just got to do a whole bunch of Prince music. I have to create music that I believe needs to be put out into the world. One thing that Prince always said and told me, that music is everywhere, you know, and anyone can create music, you know, you just have to reach up and grab it and pull it from wherever and put it out. You know, and it's endless.
So would you be planning to try and play some of those songs at some point?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely play, record, whatever the future may hold. I'm definitely going to continue my legacy, his legacy, and have it all be coincide each other.
Marcus Anderson.
Thanks, Peter.
Been an absolute pleasure.
Yes, sir. Thank you.